This is the solution when realizing that fear sucks. As have been explained and given perspective in the design of fearing your own fear, I would urge upon each one viewing this very interview to observe their life experience with regards to fear. Now, it's interesting that you will find extensive, or maybe not so extensive, fears existing within you, within which you exist as you participate and experience yourself within this world. Now, an interesting question would be to ask, but why do I have these fears? Where do these fears come from? Why do I believe these fears? Why do I accept and allow myself to exist within these fears? Now, it's interesting that all fears are related to loss, meaning fear of loss, fear of losing something, and that losing something is connected to multiple variables within you and your world. For instance, the most prominent, fear of death, which is intriguing in itself from the perspective that all human beings are aware that they are and will be dying eventually. Naturally, the time, place, and how is unknown. But yet, human beings choose to exist in constant, continuous fear of death for the remainder of their lives, until they eventually do die. Or there are other fears, being in a car accident, losing children, losing family members, losing money, losing relationships, losing friendships. It is fascinating. And then what happens? That fear manifests. Because fear creates. Why? Because you have defined you according to this fear existing within you, which you give power and life to as the essence of yourself, and then you create and manifest that very nature you have allowed and accepted yourself to be one with and equal to. And even if it doesn't happen within your own life experience, it will balance itself out within another being's life experience within this world. So, human beings realize that all fears are connected to the one fear, which is fear of death. Live as the freedom of expression as who you are in every moment of every breath. Otherwise, if you constantly and continuously exist in fear, you are trapped and enslaved in the past and in the future, within the present moment. Then you're not here as the presence of yourself in every moment of every breath. But fear of death is coming from those that have gone before you, which exist in the past, which you're projecting into the future. And so you're constantly in the present and the now of consciousness, which is enslaved here, in the past and in the future. Human beings realize the actual stupidity of fear. Fear is an enslavement model of the mind. primarily used to keep you enslaved and trapped in the past and in the future, to not remain here as breath, as a presence of you, to actually live you. How are you able to live in every moment as a freedom of expression as you, with no fear in any way whatsoever, but here as who you are, if you're stuck in the past and in the future, enslaved in the present of the now of consciousness? And then when you die, you realize, I'm still here. The fear that I've been existing within for my entire life, for most of my life, which bound me, which limited me, which kept me in the confinements of my controlled environment, was not necessary, is not real. When you cross over, you realize, I am still here. And then you realize, really, that fear really sucks. Especially if you allow it to control and limit and bind and enslave you within this world, and that you've not allowed and accepted yourself to give yourself the opportunity to actually live, and that you had an emotion such as fear of the mind enslave you, hold you back to not live. I would suggest to realize this here in this life, than having to cross over and literally knock your own head because of the stupidity of allowing fear to influence who you are as the expression of you in every moment of every breath. Thank you very much.